All right, let's see if you guys can hear me. And also, I got a mess here I got to clean up. Hold on a second. I have too much stuff open. All right, we're going to close this. Yeah, hopefully I need to save that. What's in this thing? We can delete this. Hey, folks. Gonna be a weird stream tonight. We're trying to figure some stuff out. I got a lot to talk about, but right now I'm trying to reduce the amount of garbage I have open so that maybe we'll need this. Let me know if you guys can hear me all right. I'm streaming on a slightly different setup than I do usually. Okay, all right, time to get back in the game. Grumpy old fart rising up from the murky depths. Hey, how's it going? Okay, I cannot hear my game. Can you guys hear my game? All right, what's going on here? Why can I not hear my game? That's very weird. I can hear my headphone sound. Did I mute the game? No game sound. Settings. Audio. Oh, there's sound. All right, and we need to. We're investigating no, SimSupplements.esm. What? We can't load SimSupplements 1. Okay, I gotta figure this out. No game sound. All right, why don't I have game sound? Let me see if I can get other sound working on my computer and see if you guys can hear that. Let's go. We'll just click on a random YouTube video here. Let's see if that plays. Nope, that is a queued up live stream from somebody. Let's see here. Who do I have? Oh, we got some Gopher.
Oh, I think someone's gonna hurt, mate.
All right, can you guys hear Gopher talking right now?
Oh yeah, it was just a feeling.
Okay, you guys can hear Gopher. All right. I did start the game with F4SE. Is that my issue?
It is very slow.
All right, now I gotta figure out how to stop Gopher. All right.
Big of a surprise.
All right, there we go. Okay, so sound is working in general. F4A is a problem. That's weird because I can hear, like, I can't even hear it in my own headphones, and I play with F4SE all the time. Why would F4SE not work? Why is it not playing sound? Yeah, that's so weird. Hold on, I'm gonna try something real quick. I'm gonna try switching to my speaker bar and see if I can hear the game when I do this. Okay, I can hear it on my speaker bar. And you guys might have been able to hear that. You can hear that now. Could you hear it loud and clear, or could you just hear it like picked up off my microphone? Because I could play it like that. It's just gonna be you can hear it fine, like it's playing normal. Okay. You might get a little echo if I play it like that. Why the hell am I headphones? Oh, you know what? Hold on. I think I know what it is. Give me a second. I think I don't have monitor turned on that. Properties. Nope. Monitor and output is on. I'll switch this to this. Loud and clear. All right, let's try this again. Switch this back to here, because you guys are gonna get really nasty echo if I leave it like that. Like eventually, just from it'll, like, my mic will pick up the sound from the game too. Why game? What are you doing to me? Actually, I don't think it's the game. I think there's something funky with my PC here. Hold on a second. Let's try. Not that one. Nope. This one? No. Properties, default. I'm so confused by this. Okay, let's see here. Now you can't hear the game, yeah. Yeah, my PC is dying. It's a slow death. It's been happening for months now. Let's see here. It's so weird that it works fine if I plug and put it over my speaker bar. That's very odd. All right, let's see here. So if I just run, if I click on this, are you guys able to hear that bing, 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 bing? Is that coming through? Yeah, that is coming through. Okay, so it's just the game sounds not coming through. That's so weird. That is so weird. I mean, I guess we don't need sound for this, because what we're doing today, well, what we were going to do today, I got to delete all these. These are not useful to me. So I've started working on Rise of the Commonwealth again. So you guys have been reporting to me for years that my Rise of the Commonwealth is a disaster. And I decided to dive in and find out just how bad it really is. And it's pretty bad. But in working on fixing it, I fixed some other stuff too. Hold on, let me bring up the city plan plug creator. So I started putting some change logs down here of stuff that I have figured out. Oh, and I actually have more to upload. Let's see here. Let's upload this because actually more. I figured out a few things in the last couple of days. I figured out how to allow power connections to work with pre-placed items. So, for example, the castle, you've got all those connectors that are there, and normally when you wired them, the city plan would ignore them if you ran your city plan again. You just wouldn't use them. Fixed it. I found out that if you had like stuff in your level 1 of your city plan and you connected it to stuff that didn't appear till level 3, those connections were ignored prior. I fixed that. Now all these fixes unfortunately require the city plans to be generated in the new tool. And some of these other fixes I'm going to show you guys require an update to Workshop Framework, but we're getting there. We're getting there. So power code is one thing, and then I just figured out some other stuff recently, today actually. The Covenant turrets. I figured out how to get those into the scrap profile. Mechanist Lair. Actually, let me show you guys. I'm going to pop into Mechanist Lair because I'm actually having some weird issues with Mechanist Lair right now. And I think what may have happened is I think that when we transcribed it over to SS2, I think the level 1 version just got eaten. Like, I think level 0 and level 1 are identical right now. Continue loading, yes. But there's a bunch of stuff in Mech Lair that I figured out how to sort out. And in doing so, I created some new tools that, some Python tools that I think will be helpful. Because one of the reasons that I hadn't updated RotC all this time, and usually when you guys would ask me about it, I would kind of like hide because it was such a pain. Actually, I don't like this. Let's get this cable out here. Let's run this one right here. There we go, much better. Okay, so in Mechanist Lair, often if you would delete some of these the catwalks and stuff that I did, you would find floating, and there's a couple of them still there that I think are baked into the precombines, so I can't get rid of them. Let me see if I can find one. There's like this right there, like this like streak of dirt, like this is baked into the precombines. But there was a whole bunch of other little tidbits, like stuff that looks a little bit like that, but not quite as thick, that was scattered. And if you scrapped a bunch of stuff and built it with the city plan, you'd find all this stuff just kind of still floating in the air. And I figured out how to get that deleting by a city plan. Stuff like this kind of like little dirty clutter that's like kind of see-through, and you'd find that would be like all floating all around in Mech Lair. And so right now what we're looking at, this is a version of the RotC plan entirely built by the city plan. So it actually like is now capable of cleaning up all that random little clutter. So I've got the base scrap line improved, but also in doing so, I ended up actually doing it not by in-game. So any of you guys who have tried to create scrap profiles, you know that it's kind of a pain, because sometimes there'll be items that just don't get picked up no matter how many times you run it. So I made this little utility here, and it's kind of cool. So what it does is I can grab a log file. So if I go into and I grab like my let's see, WSFW, where's it at? Mechanist Lair baseline. So this is just a full Mechanist Lair export. What I can do is I can look up certain IDs. So I can like go in the game and like click something like this and grab its base ID 821BD. So I can search for that 821BD and hit preview, and it will bring me all the objects that are in there in a format that the base scrap lines can use. So I can take this data and I could grab all of these and be like, all right, I want all of these in the scrap base, and then I could just plug them into the bigger JSON file. I can just grab a chunk at a time. And so I was able to use this to find all these items that normally would never get picked up by the scrap profile, and now they will be scrappable by the city plan. So, and I can apply the same tool to some of the other city plans if we have similar things. Now, of course, there's stuff like this that's in some of the city plans or in some of the settlements that we can never get rid of without breaking precombines. But that's still considerably better. I mean, there were probably 100 items that were left floating in Mechanist Lair if you tried to scrap everything that wouldn't get picked up by the scrap profile. So those are sorted now, which is nice. What else did I fix today? I shouldn't say I should say Pra. Pra made us some new toys. Let me bring up Xedit here. Hold on a second. I gotta switch this over. And sorry, the game is silent. I have no idea why. It just refuses to play the sound over my headphones, and so you guys don't get to hear it either. How's it going, everybody? All right, hold on. Where did there it is. Okay, so we're gonna just open up Rise of the Commonwealth here. So Pra has made us a couple of new scripts for city plans, which is going to be pretty awesome to work with. So he made us one script, and I'll get these into the toolkit when I update it next, but I want to get through this project first so that if we find any more issues with the script that he'll have a chance to update them. But these are going to be a big game for people who really enjoy making city plans and want a little more control outside of the game. So for those of you guys who have done city plans, I think most of us work kind of the same way. You build out your level 3, right? You just make the coolest settlement you can. And then you go back, and I know not everybody does this. Some people do it stage by stage, but a lot of us, I know, build the city plans where you build the coolest thing you can first, and then you work backwards, right? To come up with your level 2, level 1, level 0, where you just kind of get rid of some things and like, all right, here's a kind of a downgraded version. Because that's the easier way to do it. Doing it the reverse way, where you're like planning it along, is very hard then to make changes later. So we have a couple of things. So one is, when you're working backwards like that, one of the problems you end up with is that your plots are all level 3, right? Because you started with a level 3 settlement. And so then it's like, okay, well, I want, at level 2, I want my plots to be level 2, or some of them to be level 2 or whatnot. And so the only way to do that now is before you export, to take your level 2 save and just go run a bunch of console commands on the plot to downgrade them, which is a pain. So Pra made a new tool that we can run across any of our layouts. And I've already done it on all of these, but I'll show it to you guys anyway, that you can see how easy it is to run. But we just run this script on these, and it's called Update City Plan Numbers, and it will basically analyze all the layouts, find the plots and the data that's stored in them, and it will set it to the level of the layout. So it'll make it so like all your level 1 layouts, the plots go to level 1. Level 2 layouts, they go to level 2, etc. So real quick and easy to go back and update your city plan without having to do it in game. You can just let this tool do it for you so that it's stored in the city plan as the level you'd expect. And was hugely helpful just in itself. But then the real cool thing, and this is where what is enabling this project to happen. Hold on, I got to open up a different plugin to show you guys something. So I've talked about how one of the reasons that I haven't fixed Rise of the Commonwealth is that there's no good way to update without breaking people's saves, right? Because if you were to go in and we just use the web tool, like let's say we had some new exports, and I come in here and I recreate the whole, Rise of the Commonwealth Mechanist Lair city plan, right? Well, it generates all these extra records, and those records then wouldn't necessarily match up with the form ID that players have in their saves already, and that's bad. That's really bad. So I asked Prop if he could help me out with this. And so here is what we came up with. So here is a new version of Abernathy that I made. And I basically just built out the, oh, thanks Nightbot. I built out the Abernathy city plan in game, made some tweaks to each of the levels. So, you know, fixed up the wiring, got rid of overlapping items, did whatever I needed to do. Didn't have to think about how it was going to cascade. All I had to do was just take each level and clean it up a bit, nice and easy. And then I re-export and generate a new city plan. So now I've got my new city plan, and I'm walking you guys through this because I'm going to get these tools released to all of you. So if you want to do stuff like this, you can too. So, you know, if you have a city plan out in the world, fixing it is a big pain in the butt. You mostly, I think what most people do is just tell people, hey, don't use this on an existing save. But this method can work on an existing save. Oh, I have to load Rise of the Commonwealth too. Hold on just a second. Reload, exit. Anyway, so newest version, I deleted a city plan mid-startup when it started building. Now stuck with scaffolding and building noise in the settlement that won't clear out. Any way to clear that out? Not really. City plans are, difficult to clear out for sure. We want this one, RotC update. All right, so basically what you end up doing is you load your plugin, your old plugin, and your new dummy plugin, like your one that you just want to copy the data over from. So I'm going to let these load. So then what I'm going to do is take my new plugin. This will not be in a holotape. No, this is like for city plan designers to use to fix their city plans. So this is not something that you can do in game. So basically, like if you wanted to update a city plan you already have, you would take your new copy. So this is my source. So I just made this with the city plan creator. And I'll run this script, and it's called transfer city plan properties. And then it's going to find all the city plans you also have loaded at the same time. So then I'll find my RotC Abernathy and hit OK. And now what it's going to do is it's going to copy all of the data from this into the RotC, but it's only copying data that is plugin agnostic. So that means like stuff that won't mess up people's saves. Because mostly what we need here is form IDs from the items we used, what things are connected to what with power, and the position, scale, and rotation data. That's it. That's all we really need, and that stuff doesn't care about what plugin it's in. So now we're able to just run this script and overwrite city plan data with the correct data. And in game, we can just ignore it. We don't have to jump through hoops. We don't have to go mess in the CK and try and like find, what index a record is at, which is a disaster. I've done it and it's not fun. Like doing surgery on city plans sucks. And so now we have a path to just use the tools we're used to update our existing city plans. Just this quick, basically copy paste script that we can run. So when I want to update a city plan, all I do is come into the game here, built it. So like here's my Mechanist Lair level 0, make whatever changes I want, export it again, and then I can repeat that for all the levels if I want. So like I can come in here and just force it to upgrade with a console command, make tweaks to level 1, do it again, tweaks to level 2, and just export all the levels again, regenerate it in the plugin, and then I can just copy that data into the one that's already released. So in this case, Rise of the Commonwealth. And then for those of you guys who have your own city plans out there, same thing. You could just create a dummy plugin and then copy the data into your live one, and it wouldn't break anybody's save. You'd be able to do like inline changes to your released city plans without causing any problems for folks. So this is a pretty big game changer for mod packs in particular, for city plan packs. So Rise of the Commonwealth, the base SS2, our mega pack of being able to fix city plans. This is a pretty big game. So I've started doing this, and I actually have a few people helping. And if any of you wants to help out with this project, my goal is over the next 10 days to fix up all of the Rise of the Commonwealth city plans. So I've done Abernathy, Castle, Covenant. I started to do Mech Lair, and I ran into some bricks. Like I needed to write a new utility today to handle all the clutter. And then I found out that the level 1 upgrade appears to have the exact same data as level 0. So I was starting to try and find if we had it like stored on our Google Drive or something, like a version of it. like maybe, and I was hopeful that maybe just somebody just clicked the wrong button and like used the level 0 twice, but I'm now fearful that it's just gone forever, which would be a bummer. And what I would probably have to do for that then is just like just invent a new level 1. So I would basically build up to level 2, scrap a handful of things, and then make a new level 1. just make it up myself, because trying to recreate it from SS1 is not going to happen. That boat has sailed. I'm not going to go through and do that again. So I'm trying to find out right now. I am looking through my old files. I have these folders I call Cleanup Desktop, where periodically I just grab all the junk on my desktop and toss it into a folder and realize I need to go through it at some point. And I have done that every year. And I don't remember what year that we built the ROTC things. So let me see if I can do a bulk search of my hard drive here for this. Ultra Search is well, it used to be the best. This version 2.3.2 is amazing. I talk about this all the time because it's one of those. It's like Windows 10 to 11. Like why make me go to Windows 11. Windows 10 was glorious, and Ultra Search is the same thing. The 3.0 update is the worst. Okay, so I'm gonna try and find this. I'm gonna search for Mech on my desktop, because I don't know if I called it Mechanist Lair, Mech Lair. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. ROTC for SS2, final log files, Mechanist Lair, L0 phase 2. That sounds promising. So what I can do for this is we will exit game here. I'm going to take these. Let's go. We're going to cancel this. We don't need to run this. Yes, cancel the operation. Not going to save. All right, open file location. Okay, so what we're going to try and do is here, we're going to do Mech Lair test. I'm going to see what happens if I load up my really old Mech Lair stuff. So let's see, Mech Lair number 3, number 2, number 1, and level 0. And we're going to create a new ASP. And we're going to see if this will work. Because these files are from 2021. So it feels like a reach that these would actually work. Well, we'll see. I'm actually shocked that they're not older than that, to be honest. And when there's the last question, city plans won't upgrade unless settler count is correct. Like I need 20 out of 20 settlers won't upgrade. Any way to bypass that? I think you can turn off the requirements for city plans. Yeah, you can turn off all the requirements. All right, let's see here. So let me find my... Okay, so we're going to try this. Oh, pardon me. All right, let's see here. So if I can't get this moving, we'll probably move on from Mech Lair, move on to another settlement, just so I can walk you guys through the process of what we're trying to do right now. So this is going to be Mech Lair original SS2 port. Oops. We're going to see what this does, because I have not loaded this in literally years, so I don't know what the state of it is. All right, well, let's load this in game and see what happens. In base game, Mech Lair, Boston Airport, home plate aren't proper settlements. Does this get corrected in this, or should another mod be downloaded? So it doesn't get corrected as far as what you can build in it, but the city plan does force settlers to appear. So even though they're not proper settlements, as soon as you use a city plan in there, they effectively become a proper settlement. If you want to be able to though build all the exterior stuff and whatnot, then you do need a mod for that. I've got a big crowd tonight. Hello, everybody. Sorry, I've not stopped to greet. I'm so excited about this project because this is one of those ones that I didn't think I was ever going to do because it was so daunting. And then, yeah, got a burst of inspiration because something else I'm working on kind of depends on the city plans and the community functioning properly before this other thing will work good. So, all right, so let's try this out. So we're going to build a city planner's desk. We are going to select a city plan and we're going to grab our test. So Mechanist Lair test, use this plan. Let's see what happens. Let's see how bad this looks. All right, first of all, we're going to hide over here. We should not kick in, what do you call it? This should not kick in cinematic mode because we're in an interior. Marine, how you doing today? I may get a PC soon. Nice, nice.
Oh yeah!
Is my soundboard working, guys? I know we had recently found out that all of my
Maximum crabs!
my crabs weren't working. Okay, so this immediately looks different than the level 0 I had earlier today. So that's exciting. Chunk storage. Okay. Okay, so we're going to pop into workshop mode here, kind of tour around a bit. Okay, one thing I found that's interesting with, I don't know if it's just this settlement or if it's all settlements, but like you see all this stuff that's kind of floating, it seems like the physics gets locked up until you scrap something. Let me find one. Like if I scrap one of these, I think it makes everything fall all of a sudden. So if I scrap this, boop, everything else falls. I don't know why that is. And it's not everything, but like most things. I think that caused that to fall down. Don't know why. All right, so let's look around here. So yeah, so our scrap. So I have a new baseline scrap profile for Mechanist Lair on the drive, or on the web tool. So it should automatically clean up a lot more if you happen to generate a new city plan for Mechanist Lair. This actually looks pretty close to the one I had. So I want to see. There were some improvements I made because I saw there were like these floating lights, so I attached some things here to sort those out, and I might do that again. And I can see I've got some clipping and stuff. But for right now, what I'm trying to do here is figure out what the state of these old city plan files is in and see if it's salvageable, because Mechanist Lair, it turns out, is in real bad shape. Level 1 appears to be missing. So I want to see if we have it in this old file. Thank you. All right, so we're going to do a test here. So this isn't the full process yet. Right now I'm just trying to, for Mechanist Lair in particular, I believe there was a failure in the original merge and I never caught it. City plan, because there was a lot of settlements. We have like 37 city plans and I couldn't do it all myself. So let's see, city plan manager, test city upgrades. If you ever want to cheat a city plan up, there's your console command. All right, let's see what this looks like at level 1. Let's see if we get, okay, well, we immediately got some more stuff, so that's a good sign. Because in the one, oh yeah, okay, I think we're in good shape. Oh, I got some more physics items. In the one that's in RotC live right now, level 1 and level 0 are identical. It's just a bug. It's, or I think it's just the data. Somebody used the level 0 import twice. Oh yeah, okay, cool. Okay, so I will be able to salvage this city plan. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. There's some funky collision going on here. I'm guessing that there's some static collection or something that's got bad physics, which fortunately you just jump over it, but a little annoying. Okay, so that's good news. So Mechanist Lair is salvageable. So I guess I could show you guys the process with this. Yeah, this is very interesting that I have like this old city, and it's actually kind of cool. So I can take this like ancient version of this city plan, and because we have this new method for copying the data over, I can use this to overwrite RotC, even though, you know, I would never have advised this prior. But like now that we have all these tools, like this is great. Okay, so I guess we'll do it. We'll start with this one. I'll show you guys the process. You know, normally I would do it with the RotC settlement itself, but we can do it with this old version because it looks a hell of a lot better than the one that we have in RotC right now. So, oops. So we're gonna go in. I have a save set up that's got Mechanist Lair all unlocked and everything. Continue loading this. All right, so I'm gonna walk you guys through this project we're working on. And then if any of you is so inspired and you have some free time this week, I would love some help because there are a lot more settlements to cover. I think we have covered about 6 of them so far, and there are 37 to do. So the process goes like this. I have a special build of SS2 set up and Workshop Framework that has a lot of fixes in it. And then we have a build of Rise of the Commonwealth that's kind of prepped for this. And the idea is we're just going to use what's in Rise of the Commonwealth to fix Rise of the Commonwealth. Now, in this case, Mech Lair is a unique situation because the whole city plan was broken in Rise of the Commonwealth, so we have to start. I had to go even further back. I got to go to the Wayback Machine fortunately, I found that I did keep all of the exports for when we built Rise of the Commonwealth back in 2021. So I have all those files, thank God. Otherwise, this would have been a lost cause, which would be a bummer because this one I really like. It really came out cool. So normally, if anybody was helping me, you would go to the RotC one and build it. But we've determined that one's broken, so I've regenerated it from an old one. So that's fine. But basically, you're going to just build the level 0. So I guess we're going to tear it all down. We're going to build the level 0. And you can imagine this with not just helping me with RotC, but your own city plans. If you've got a city plan out there and you're like, I want to fix it. I want to change it. I don't like the way it is out in the world. I want to make it better. And I was hoping to keep this surprise, but the goal is to get you guys the pre-build system real soon. And that is why it's so important to me that we have all these city plan issues sorted, because once we start dropping people into brand new saves with 30 odd city plans in the world, those city plans better be damn stable. So yeah, city plan use is about to go through the moon. There's going to be a lot of people wanting more city plans soon. We're going to guess items with physics don't usually get scrapped properly, even when they have the location in the scrap profile. Interesting. I might be able to fix that. Some of the new tools I came up with today. It won't be easy, but it'll be easier than it was. So it turns out that the baseline scrap profile was not storing all these things correctly, was not storing a lot of items correctly. And so even though you would go make yourself a custom scrap profile, it was basically just cutting out some of the data. So my bet is if I went in and looked into the baseline scrap profile, these items are not there. So even though you're scrapping them and you would expect them to be in your city plan, they're not actually getting stored in there. I found a whole bunch of little clutter items that I took care of and added them to the base, and now this place is looking so much better after scrap than it did this morning. But for now, I'm just gonna scrap these just to make them fall and get out of my way. So if you imagine you're fixing your own city plan or helping us with the SS2 city plan cleanup, you're basically going to go through and just make it look good. So the project is to make sure everything's wired correctly. There's a lot of connectors, especially these interior plots and stuff where you just want some power, and then look for overlapping items, because one of the things that happened when we migrated from SS1 to SS2 is we just didn't do a thorough enough job of cleaning up. And that also may not be entirely true. Some of it is also just because the city plan tools had not been fully developed by that time. So once we got the contest going, like the community all the people who participated in that a lot were very good about reporting bugs to me about problems with the city plans. But the folks who helped me transfer Rise of the Commonwealth from SS1 to SS2 were not as knowledgeable about city plan stuff. So they didn't recognize all the time when there were bugs with the scrap profiles. So a lot of bad data got baked into Rise of the Commonwealth, and it's a little bit less, but some also in the single level city plans that are in SS2. So with Rise of the Commonwealth, you'll see it really bad with the power code. That you'll find that sometimes wires get run like full across the settlement. They'll just be like from one end of the castle to the other. Castle was really bad. I got that all cleaned up recently. Yeah, build limit's a little tight. Yeah, I have on the PC version, it ignores the build limit by default with city plan, so it goes nuts. With Xbox, you'd want to set performance options to reduce the amount of stuff that you're building. You definitely wouldn't want to do the full design. But that's player side controlled. You can control that. So right now I'm cleaning up stuff that I can see is overlapping our shipping containers. And just kind of get this cleaned up a little bit. I'm going to do some like this light here, these lights. You can't scrap them. These are part of these are not baked into the pre-combine. They are attached. They are parented. They are enable parented to some stuff in here. So the only way to get rid of those would be to make some edits to the base. So instead, I'm just going to do stuff like this, like just disguise them. So we'll just make this light. It's attached to this now. It's just part of this. That's fine. Get that. Oh, I don't know why that jumped like that. All right, you know what? We'll turn off surface snap. There we go. All right, we're going to go around, make sure all of our wires are connected everywhere in a reasonable way. They don't have to be perfect, but I don't need them like, you know, getting just clotheslining settlers as they walk by. That would be preferable. And I can look for some of the ones that are like really weirdly, because there will be occasionally some that are doing that like full across the settlement. The other thing, these little lights here, I came up with something that's not great, but I'm sticking to vanilla items because I don't have the Wasteland Reconstruction Kit set up right now on this PC. And I think that's for the better. I don't want to complicate things anymore. But what I'm going to do here is set this up. We're going to switch our rotation angle to 45. We will switch our angle. And then we will highlight and just kind of bop this guy over here. There we go. And then we're just going to float this guy here. This is going to be our new lantern holder. All right, and then we'll nudge this guy a little bit to the left. There we go. It's perfect. All right, and then we're going to set up a hotkey real quick. Is a cheap mouse and keyboard good for a PC since they don't have stick drift and all I want is bare bone stuff? Yeah, you know, I mean, your PC will come with a mouse and keyboard. That's a real basic one. You can also use any Xbox controllers you have with it. Hotkeys. Okay, I already got clone set up. So then we'll go ahead and grab this guy, clone it. We'll put another one over here. So this is kind of the project that I have going that I announced in the news video the other day of where I need help is doing this stuff. Just going through and trying to get ROTC ready for the flood of people wanting to use it as a base for pre-building, because pre-building is coming back. And I think ROTC, while it's you know, definitely not the best city plans out there, I think there are some really good designs in there, and I hate to see them lost. And for a lot of people, I think who are not as in tune with the add-on scene, I think they tend to start with the official, you know, the quote-unquote official stuff, like the stuff that I've uploaded. Because that probably feels the safest to use, or if you're not familiar with, you know, which mod authors are doing the best work yet. So I think it's important that our stuff sets a good standard so that people can feel comfortable grabbing it. Because I think as long as our stuff is good, it'll inspire people to try out more of the community content. All right, then one more over here. And I really wish I could scrap these instead of having to do this janky stuff with them floating, but you know, work with what we got. All right, then we're gonna control, and then, oops, wrong one. We want that on the y-axis. There we go. Nope, we're gonna have to nudge this guy. There we go. All right, we got no more floating lanterns. Let's see what our wiring situation looks like. Oh, we got some more over here. They're kind of isolated. So a lot in this place. Oh, and you can see some. There's definitely it's the doing power has an interesting side effect. Is it's a good way to find out when you've got some funky static collections, because when you start looking around while you're holding a wire, you see that where it like flickers, it does that flick, that's a sign that you got a bad mesh somewhere. Now finding the actual mesh, good luck, but it is good to notice. Like if I wanted to, I could, the way to find it would be to basically scrap all but one plot and see if you can flicker that. If you do, you know that that's your plot with the problem. So not something I'm gonna sit and do now, because I do want to like make some decent progress, and even with those little bugs with the static collections, this will work for 95% of people. But if you are a hardcore troubleshooter, that is a tool you could use to try and figure out which building plans or static collections have problems in them. Okay, so it looks like all the wires are connected to something. And for this first level, we want some, in these interior settlements, you just want some power in the general area because it's not a huge settlement. So we're basically just looking to make sure all the plots can get a little bit of radiant power. It looks like we could probably use one more over on this wall, I guess. We'll do that, and then we're going to need to daisy chain it, so we'll do here. Now, the nice thing, again, about this new tool we have for copying data is we don't really have to worry about like making sure that there's parity between the levels, because I have improved the power code now so that it can remember and figure out between levels where the power connections are. It should be a lot better at that. I'm sure it won't be perfect. I'm sure some folks will immediately find some examples of city plans where it doesn't work for them or where there's problems, and I am happy to look into those reports, especially now while this is all fresh in my mind. So, all right, well, I guess we have let's see, is this connected around here, around over there? Okay, yeah, good. We're going in a big circle. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so we've got a fair amount of power wiring here, and the wires aren't even strictly necessary generally, because most people who play with the city plans in here are going to be running the faux power, with the exception of Xbox players. But we've got a fairly robust set of wiring now, so this place should be in pretty good shape. I don't love this wire across here, but I do like the redundancy when you're using the recruitment radio beacon, so if the player turns it off, then their settlement doesn't just unpower. So I kind of actually want to do this too, even though it's a little busy. I guess we only need one of these. We'll just leave that one over there, the one that's closest to. Okay, so then once you've got your settlement where you're happy with it, like, okay, this is level. Actually, you know what? I know one more change I want to make. For whatever reason, when we built this, we have these facing inward, and when you think you'd want to face the doors that are right there. So don't know why we did that. It was just that one, I believe, too. Okay, so now we're gonna save this. So I'm gonna save this as ROTC. Let's see. Mech Lair L0, so that way I can come back to it. And now we're just going to export it. So we don't have to worry about, like I said, we're not going to have to worry about making sure the connectors are in the same place or anything. We literally just load this up, make whatever changes we want, and re-export our layout. And we're basically just going to generate it as if we're making a whole new city plan. And then our new tools will take care of the rest, so we don't have to think about it. So this part always takes a good amount of time because it has to scan the entire settlement for all of its items and spit them out into a log file. So actually, while that's going, I will get my documents up here. Follow for logs script user. Here we go. Okay. This city plan, I don't know how many of you remember when it first came out back during Sim Settlements 1, but Ricky Summer, if any of you guys remember that name, that blast from the past, had made a song inspired by this settlement that he called Sim Punk, and we made like a little music video using clips from this settlement. And I had to reach out to him today to be like, dude, your video got unlisted for some reason, and we're trying to find a copy of it. We can't find it anymore. I had so much fun with this one. A lot of good memories. So I definitely want to salvage this settlement. This one also has a pretty crazy thing at level 3 if you've never built this before. It has this machine that builds robo-brains. It looks like something you would only see from Pra these days, but it actually wasn't him. It was Ethrion who put it together. I think Pra could probably give it a run for his money, though. That ASAM machine he made is insane. Madness. Oh, and actually I see a problem here. So I will actually re-export. But look, there's a crate right in the middle of these guys' living room. Didn't see that before. Hard to see the problems in this one, how dark it is. I guess that's appropriate dystopian though. Just the this was meant to be our like cyberpunk looking settlement. So yeah. The corpos drop a big shipping crate in the middle of your living room. You gotta just live with it. Maybe we'll get lucky and it hadn't exported that particular thing that I just deleted yet. But I mean, I'm just gonna redo the save and I'll continue as is, and I can re-export this one later off stream because I really just want to demo the plan for you guys of what we're trying to do here and how the new tools help out. Yeah, turning my flashlight would be a good idea. Good thinking, Phoenix. That helps a lot, especially because I've got it on white right now because I wanted to have the color HUD for testing out companion status. And it's so weird to play those without sound. It's so bizarre. Especially because I have had sound all day when tinkering with things. Oh, there's another clippy thing. All right, well. All right, there we go. So we got our log file name. So now I got to go rename it to something useful. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we've got this. I'm going to resave this since I just made a few changes. What is this one? All right, these ones are useless now. I can get rid of these because I determined that level 1 was just straight up missing. All right, so now we're going to force the upgrade from this one. And then we can do another little cleanup. So what usually happens is when you do an upgrade, the wiring gets a little screwy again. That should be reduced greatly after the next build of Workshop Framework goes out and people start regenerating their city plans. And you don't have to. If you've got city plans out there, you do not have to feel obligated to regenerate them. It's just if you do, you'll see slight improvements. So things like wiring will be better. Scrap profiles will be better acknowledged. Interlevel stuff like plot changes and power connection changes will be better tracked. All right, so we're waiting until we get that settlers made some improvements message, and then we'll know that this is ready for me to start tinkering again. There we go. Finish setting up. Oh, no, it's finishing a home. Okay, we're waiting for the improvements. All right, yeah, and you can see like some of the wirings just like running right through your path and everything, and it gets some of the ROTC plans were pretty crazy with that, with how bad the wiring situation was. And again, that was we were building the plane while we were flying it back then. All right, let me go check. It feels like it's done now. Let's check the blueprint here and see if it shows it at level 1. If so, I think we're good to go. I may have just missed the message. Yeah, I think I just messaged the message in the corner. Okay, let's start cleaning up. So we're going to come in here. We'll get rid of these clipping wires. That one's not too bad. Oh, we made a little wire triangle for some reason. Let's see here. Make sure we can search. Use this to see if there's any other nearby. Okay, that one's connected. Good. All right, let's make sure if we have any turrets in here, they are actually facing toward the door. Okay, these wires look okay. Where's this one going? That looks fine, looks fine. Okay, that one's going down there. Over here. Okay, we made a full circle on there. Okay, this looks kind of disastrous. Let's see if we can clean this up a little bit. Okay, that one's good. What about this one? That's going a little bit far. Let's see here. All right, what other options do we have here? Okay, wait, what is this control doing? Not sure why we have a switch there, but I guess it would make sense to reach this, so I'm going to connect it to that. I actually think then you would probably not want it connected elsewhere. I guess you need it connected to the grid, so yeah, that makes sense. Then that would cut off power there. Okay. Yeah, so you can see like this clearly got connected to the wrong thing. We wouldn't have run a wire like that, so that's one that is one of the problems with the old power code is if it would lose track of the item across levels, it would try and make something up. It would just connect it to the index that seemed close enough, and then you'd get weird stuff like that where it's just going through the floor or whatever. So the settlement I found it was the most obnoxious with was the castle, although Babylonia was working on Starlight Drive-In and said the same thing was happening, that stuff was all over the place. Okay, we got this floaty light. We're going to have to come up with a something to hold on to it so it's not just hanging out there. All right. So I want to make sure for the most part everything is in a grid. And again, primarily it matters for Xbox players if they're using these so that they can actually connect power to this and have everything light up. Okay, so we've got a dead end over here. Oh, I think this is is it one of our lamp holders that we made up last time? Let's go under here and see. Yep. And actually, we don't need that anymore because now we have it just mounted to the bottom of the catwalk, so we can get rid of that. All right, so I kind of need something else to connect the power to keep it running around the settlement, so we'll add another connector here. Again, this is one of the things I like about the new setup is we don't have to worry about making sure that there's an equivalent power connection in the next level or the previous. We can just build and let it sort it out. Now, occasionally you'll end up with power connections that you didn't create will show up, and that is to try and fill in those gaps. But it still should be considerably improved over what it was. Okay, let's see. Where else is there? Do we have any over here? We've got that one that we added for the lamp holder, which is still there, so we can make use of that. That's fine. Let's go. We'll bank off of here. There we go. And now this one we don't need anymore because we have the catwalk there to hold that. Okay, let's see if we can find something else to make it around the room with. Okay, I guess we're going to need another one here. I guess we don't need it over the cap. We can get it off to the side here. And then I don't want to just run it really low. I like just imagining my settlers don't have to duck under these. Kind of how I pick the positions. Okay, well, that's not great. Just floating way over here. All right, let's get this a little better. There we go. Let's see. All right, can this one reach over to here? It can. Fantastic. Okay. And maybe one underneath this catwalk here. And this can go down to this. There we go. We got a nice circuit all the way around. We actually have, this one's kind of redundant, so we'll get, and it was kind of crooked, so we'll just nuke it. What is going on there? All right, we're going to just go ahead. This guy is, oh, I think this is one of the ones you fight during the Mechanist fight, right? So Most people wouldn't have that there. Nope, I don't want that. I want the body. Give me... There we go. Okay, double check for big old things clipping in the middle of plots. Oh, that lantern's on a chain. I was like, is that a floating lantern? Oh, and we also got to give the... What do you call it? This thing. We need to give this thing support. Oh, you know what we should do is grab that chain. Let's see if we can grab this here. We'll need to do extra selection. What? Oh, is this chain got like really crazy funky collision? It does. All right. Bye-bye. Okay. Apparently that thing's problematic, which means bye-bye lantern. That chain is a mess. All right. Well, and here's a floaty one. Okay. All right. We're not going to mess with the chains then. I'm guessing that that is a known issue in the... I'm guessing that that chain is in Wasteland Reconstruction Kit, and it is probably a known problem child in the community. What do you guys think? All right, we'll go with our tried and true method here. All right, we're going to get this guy on the x-axis. Give it a tilt. And then we'll switch to... actually... something like this, and then back to X. All right, there we go. Starting to get where we need. Beautiful. I love it. The jankier, the better for me. And then we'll connect it just because it looks nice. Well, it looks post-apocalyptic mess, which is my favorite design style. Okay. Think we're looking pretty good here. All right, so then we're going to save this out as level 2. Or level 1, rather. Excuse me. And we'll go ahead and give this guy an export. Oh, no, I should leave that light on, huh? And good luck finding the workbench. Oh, we got a straggler. All right, let's go ahead and export this guy. Yeah, see, every time I keep getting stuck, I can tell there's like something right here. There's some funky collision. Can't walk, but I just take a little hop. Oh yeah, what is that? Look at that. It's blocking my whole path. Yeah, I wonder what that is. Anyway, something with bad collision, and it's what's interesting is it's never in the level. It's like it'll be some item way over there whose collision is flinging over there. I think it might be these walls, to be honest. These kind of metal pieces right here. We had a whole kit of these. And I believe their collision is set to movable. So it kind of like, depending on what the physics decided to do in your save, that those end up just kind of falling over and the collision just stays wherever it is, but it's detached from these kind of like half industrial walls. I believe that's what it is. So one day when we fix those meshes, that will all of a sudden, a lot of your settlements will be a lot more pathable. I actually assigned that task to somebody yesterday to be like, hey, could you go through and find all the reports on our broken meshes and try and get those sorted? well now I want to mess with the sound some more while we're waiting for this. So it'd be way less confusing with the sound if I could hear it in my headphones and you guys couldn't hear it. Because that would make sense to me then. Then it'd be like, alright, it's just Streamlabs. Can you guys hear me at least? No, that you just the awfully quiet was me thinking. trying to figure out why we don't have sound for the game. Because it is eerily quiet for me too. All right, we're going to try something here. I want to see, I'm going to switch this back to my, okay, yeah, no, even if I switch it over to my soundbar, I still can't hear it. Something funky. All right, I'll have to play with that another time. All right, we got another export. Let's go ahead and rename this guy. Okay, let's get this thing to level 2. See what she looks. Oh, we got a floating radiation barrel. That's a good start. Oh, we're starting to get some names on our little shops down here. Hey, we're getting some lighting. Oh, hello. Okay, I made some improvements. All right, cool. Okay, let's get up here. Take a look, watch for anything new that... Okay, we've got power. Oh, that's cool. We got the power through that. Actually, I'm going to leave that. Okay, this is wrapped around over here. Okay, we got a little bit of redundancy here. Let's go. We'll get rid of this long one. Plug you into here. Oh, I can't quite. All right, well, we can, again, this is a nice thing about the new power code is we should be able to just do this. and just not worry about keeping that where it was. There we go. This should loop around down to here. Cool. Comes over to here. This is unnecessary. I don't know what happened to this wall. Oh, and we've got our little triangle set up. Okay, where this goes down here. Cuts to that switch. All right, what is this? Okay, so now the light that was floating here is covered up, so we can get rid of that. Get rid of this floating box. Don't know where this all leads. This feels unnecessary right here. Get rid of that guy. This too feels unnecessary. Connect you direct to it instead. All right, and then this is now kind of in the way, so let's lift this guy up. And we'll put one across to this. Actually, can this one reach into here? I'm guessing no. All right, so we'll put another one on the wall here. And I'm actually curious if we're going to be able to get this one to connect through the fence. That would be ideal. I don't know if we'll be able to pull it off. Oh, I need to scooch this guy a little bit. Can we connect you through the fence? We can. Fantastic. Okay, then we can do this. Get you in storage. You connect here. You connect way up to there. Beautiful. Okay. All right, let's poke our heads in here. Okay, we've got some radial power to this stuff. Fantastic. Looks good. Actually, hold on. Was there something clipping there? Yes, there is. Steel crate. Some of this stuff might be part of the building plan, but if it looks messy, I'm just going to nuke it. Okay, we can actually path through there now. Okay, well, this is at somebody's home, and it's clearly buried in crap, so we'll go ahead and get rid of those, because I don't have any add-on packs installed, and I do not recognize... Okay, so that's a building plan to recognize, so we just need to get this stuff out of the way, so these folks can actually enter their home. All right. This stuff actually looks like it was set up to look interesting, and unfortunately it is blocking, so we're going to go ahead and nuke it. Yeah, it looks like there was some sort of big pre-combine here that we just got rid of, and that's okay. That's another thing, like, we inherited from oh, that was funny. That was one of those, the duffel bag of holding. Yeah, we don't need those. This place had or SS1's city plans all had pre-combines. We came up with a system for pre-combines, and we ended up getting rid of it in a lot of the settlements because it was problematic. And so I'm guessing that this place had that, and that's why we just lost a whole bunch of stuff. All right, so we'll go ahead and just build these guys a new wall here to cover up the big hole we just left them. Okay. All right, looks like this was some sort of building as well that I destroyed. So we'll give them a little something. Nothing too much. Okay, there we go. What else do we got going up here? Okay, looks like this was a little building that's incomplete. And again, it could be because I just nuked a big pre-combine, so I may have to add some more stuff here. Oh yeah, I did. Looks like there was a giant pre-combine. Okay, we might have to roll that back. Yeah, I scrapped something that was pretty clutch. Okay, it was way bigger than I thought it was. So we're gonna go back to L1 and we will rebuild this. Yeah, the pre-combines were tossed out. I think it's because for this particular one, because we are rescuing it from a very old build of our OTC. I think it is going to come back in this particular settlement, but the rest of them, the pre-combines are gone. But yeah, this one I'll have to be careful about extra object selection, or we can end up destroying half of the design. Okay. All right, let's try that again with a little bit less destructive force. Okay, debris we can get rid of. All right, let's make sure we didn't just nuke the same thing I did again, because I just saw something select. Hold on, let me make sure I have extra object selection turned off. Just disabled. Okay. Where was our little, I think the city planner's desk is in here. Let's take a peek. Okay, this is by not having, okay, well, I can definitely see, yeah, I can see what I'm highlighting here. It's highlighting stuff that's way over there, yeah. So we've got a big old pre-combine in here. And that's okay for now. I actually will be able, once we finish the city, like recreating the city plan, I'll actually we have a utility already to nuke those pre-combines, so I can run that on here. So we can get that cleaned up at that point. So for now, I will just focus on fixing all the wiring. All right, we're gonna fix our wiring, make sure there's nothing too egregious with stuff blocking pathing. Okay. I don't think we need these duffel bags of holding, but I can't grab them. Oh, these ones I can grab because they're definitely not part of the pre-combines. We don't need that much storage space. Okay. And then I feel like there was just a couple more wires over here I had messed with prior. Yeah, this thing right over here. That guy floating. I was down one of these little side halls. There was, here we go. This one. This is the one I was thinking of. Tuck that back a little bit. Grab you and reattach. And then there was one, whoop, right across from it that, oh yeah, it is connected. Okay, cool. That's why I think we determined this is unnecessary. This one's unnecessary. Reconnect here and reconnect here. There we go. I think that's about all I did before. All right, and since I don't have I can't open up all the walls like I like to do in flight mode, we're just going to get out of workshop mode and pop in and take a look. Okay, we got a couple houses in there. Good to go. Let's see. Yeah, actually, all the collision in here, I bet it's a combination of the pre-combines and then these funky pieces that have bad collision. So once I sever the pre-combine, it should help out a lot. And then I'll also get those meshes fixed, and we'll be in much better shape. Okay, oh, here's another one that we can get rid of. Oh, is this one of our fake, what do you call it? Our fake little lamp holders that I can get rid of now? Come on, what am I stuck on? There we go. I could not move. I don't know if I'm stuck on bad collision or what's going on here. Let's see. Okay, we'll get rid of this floating barrel. Oh yeah, there's our power pylon we don't need anymore. And then where is that wire we just severed? Okay, is there anything to connect this to over here? Does not look like it so far. All right, so actually the ideal is going to be to tuck it in here so that we can go straight that way. And out a little, whoops, lost the connection. Out a little more. There we go. Hopefully this can reach there. Beautiful. And then we need this to come over here, which we don't have a connector for yet. And we'll do one of these guys. Oh, we actually have this one. I think this is the one we put last time. So we can just nudge this guy out a little bit. So it's not clipping in so much. And that should give us the ability to connect to this one. And this guy, oops. And then, oh, okay, that one's not well connected either. All right, we'll do that. We'll deal with that in just a second. Come on, connect. It wants to connect so bad, but it won't connect. Oh, there it goes. But I just had to click the button several times. And I guess this is going to have to hang low here. Not too, let's see how low is it. Is it too low to walk under? It is. Okay, I don't like that. All right, then we'll put one on the wall up here. And you obviously don't have to do this. Again, I just like doing this because for Xbox players, they don't have the pre-power. So if they're going to use this, then they actually have to legitimately run some power through. I mean, the faux power, I think it works for some stuff on Xbox, just not everything. Okay, looking pretty good here. Okay, let's drop another save. Get ourselves an export. If I can find the A, there it is. That was a lot easier to find than expected. I get lost in here so much, despite it being absolutely tiny. Export layout. Yeah, I'm actually going to have to dust off that pre-combined destruction tool. I haven't used it in ages. Oh, we got a floater. All right. Well, it's still exporting. Maybe we can catch it. Just delete that. We can keep analyzing for floaters. Again, I'll go off camera. We'll go do another re-export to catch any of those little changes I've been making. while we're waiting for the export. What is this? What's up with this hat? What the hell is this? Hold on a second. Insert. Can I grab it? I cannot. What? Where is that coming from? Hold on a second. Can we click it in console? Does it just say hat? No, it's part of a static collection. Okay. Well, then let's not delete it. All right, hold on. Insert, disabled. So there is a hat baked into the static collection. That's fun. Oh, some more stuff to scrap. More overlap. I guess this jail cell, probably not supposed to be in these guys' living room, huh? Okay, that looks all right. What's going on here? This guy's bed's a little busy. Okay, I think these bins may be part of the pre-combine because they're not highlighting. Hold on, let's try them. Let's try clicking them. Blue plastic bin. Okay, no, they're just... Okay, those ones I could safely delete. That's good. Blue plastic bin. Blue plastic bin. Okay, good to go there. This is why I like this settlement. There's so many little treasures tucked in everywhere. I love these cramped vertical settlements. The jail cell is vanilla. Okay, cool. Yeah, so it was probably meant to be scrapped in this design. Oop. Shipping crate clipping into this building. Actually guessing that that shipping crate needed to be deleted from the other two levels as well. But that's all right. We're getting most of the way there. Oh, we got a floating crate here. Oh, the brain drain. I vaguely remember what this is. All right, let's hop in here. Hey, there we go. Okay, so I absolutely need to come back through and do another pass on scrapping overlapping items and then do another re-export, but it's enough to give us the idea. Oh yeah, look at this. What's going on here with this Nuka-Cola machine? Let's go ahead and axe that if we can. Oh no, it's part of the pre-combines. I can't get it. Okay. Okay. Or is that actually, no, that might be part of, is that part of this plot design? No, I don't think it is. I think that is built into the pre-combine, so we'll get that fixed later. Okay. Let's start the level 3 here. Do one more save. Oh, nice. I like the lettering. Oh, yeah. Now this is starting to come back to me. Okay. Sadly, the Mechanist Lair made some improvements. We hit level 3 in a city plan, so we unlocked marketplace trading. Okay. Oh, man. The freaking physics is getting crazy. Yeah, we definitely need to destroy the pre-combine in here. We will do that later. And again, this is not one that will come up. This is just because I'm restoring a really old city plan. Okay, but we got the machine. So you can see the machine. It's all animated. This reminds me of like some of the stuff Prod does now with the animated conveyor belts and stuff. And with this, if I could get in here, which I can't right now because of the pre-combined nonsense, there's actually a terminal that if you mess with it, it'll spawn robo-brain settlers out of this door right here, and they'll come out and join your settlement. Okay. Oh, yeah, here it is. I think this is the one. So control terminal, initiate daily inspection. I think this is the one that does it. Oh, God. There it goes. And we get ourselves a new, and he's all caught up in the collision too. Okay. Well, when we break the pre-combines, we'll get that all sorted. Okay, let's take another pass on our wiring. Look for any more crazy stuff clipping into each other. Well, nobody's getting into this plot. It is buried. Actually, we need to flip it around and delete this stuff, and then maybe people will have a chance to get in there. Well, people can get to this bed, so I'm fine by that. Okay. Very nice. What the hell? I'm fairly certain that was intentional, and I'm going to leave it, but it looks so silly. All right, we'll clean up the oxygen tank at least. Okay, heading on down here. All right, let's find I want to find the brain drain again. Okay, there. See, the Nuka-Cola machine finally got removed, so it was probably not intended to be there at all. This stuff all looks like it's covering up a residential plot. There we go. Hey, here it is. Okay. All right. They put one of them on Assaultron legs. That's amazing. All right, that looks like this crate needs to go. And another spot where the collision's all funky. Okay, well, we've got it to a state where we kind of understand what I need to do still, and we're at a good spot where we can at least go to the next step so I can show you guys what we do next here. And then I will come back off stream and take care of the rest. Because we'll have to clean this up and re-export all the levels and I have to break the precombines. And again, not something that anybody else would need to be doing if they were updating city plans. So we will now save this as level 3. Give this an export. Okay, I am super stuck. Yeah, I am very glad that we got rid of the precombine. You know, it seemed like it was going to be a huge performance saver, and like in rough testing, it was working well, but like for practicality reasons, it's not great. It's like the performance hit is not worth all this all the trouble of not being able to edit the place, of barely being able to path it. It's just not worth it. All right, now trying to find the workbench is I think it's over here. No, I'm all turned around now. Whew, making myself dizzy in here. I can't imagine how I hope none of you guys are watching the screen during all this. Oh, whoa. I just saw there's like a floating oil slick right here. Well, that'll have to get cleaned up after I break the precombines. All right, workbench, where are you hiding at? Oh, you know what we're going to do? We're going to TCL until I find it. Ah, there it is. Oh, cannot CAD me. Right to the right side of the bench. Yep. Okay. All right, then we're going to go ahead and manage settlement layout, export layout. There we go. Yeah, I was feeling the nausea. Something fierce there. Whew. Okay, let's let this thing export. And then we'll off to the next step. This particular one taking a lot longer than most of them do. When you're battling the old collision, but this is also why I had been afraid to come in and mess with RotC, because I had this memory of having to deal with these. But like I said, that's all been torn apart now. There's no more of this pre-combined nonsense. So the rest of them go a lot faster when you don't have to fight with fighting pathing through the place. Like the first couple I did took me like an hour each to do. All right, so once we have this last export done, then we're basically going to create a new city plan out of it. And then I'm not going to run the tool against it, but that's the idea, is we could run the tool against it, but I will show you that we can come back in and we can run the city plan again, and you'll see that, and it's mostly, I can probably just show you guys primarily between like 0 and 1 and not have to come to levels 2 and 3 had so much of this pre-combined stuff, it's kind of painful to see. But I think level 0 and 1, you guys saw all the changes I made to the wiring and stuff, and you can see that the new code is very capable of just rebuilding whatever you created without having to worry about it so much. I think that was one of the harder parts with trying to update an old city plan, was like trying to worry so much about making sure that wiring matched up and such, and you just really don't have to worry about that, which is nice for updating these. So you can just kind of treat each of them as their own settlement, and for the most part, what you see is what you get. There's definitely still some things that likely won't build perfectly. I think some amount of power connections. I've been shown examples, like I think Chuchu was showing me one of where like some ceiling tiles weren't building. I don't know if these new changes will resolve that or not, but we'll find out when we start trying to rebuild some of those old city plans to see what happens. Alexander heard Starfield doesn't have precombines at all. What are they using instead? Or are they just rendering everything? Yeah, I don't think it uses precombines. I don't know what they're using. That's a good question. Or maybe they're using more precombines. Like, I'm not sure. They definitely aren't using like static collections. That's for sure. They use a lot of pack-ins, but I don't know how much of that prevents the interaction with individual items. You know, I think it's not quite as big a deal when you don't have, like, you're not turning random places into settlements, right? So it's not as important. Like the way they have outposts set up in Starfield, you're kind of always building on a blank slate, so they don't have to worry about it as much. It's also possible that Starfield just generates that stuff behind the scenes automatically. Like maybe you don't actively have to do the process like you do in Fallout 4. And maybe you do. I'm not involved in that stuff on our team, so any of the Starfield stuff. So it might be that if I ask Imperial, he'll tell me, oh yeah, I had to generate precombines all the time. But it could also be just something that gets done automatically when you save the plugin, or maybe it does it at runtime. Like maybe that's part of the load screens. Maybe it has to like grab all the geometry and turn it into a single ref. Yeah, I'll agree. Outposts did feel like a step back from FO4. I would love to see them revisit that and bring it more in line with. I love FO4s. I think the little mini game, even the base games version. Like I know we kind of dialed it up a bit in SS2, but I still think the base games version of just having to supply basic things for your settlers, like food, water, defense, and then having that trigger a little happiness thing. I think it was a fun little mini game. It gave you a little goal. You know, like it got tiring quickly, and so adding in stuff like the dynamic needs helps a lot. But just having that foundation made it a lot easier to build off of. So it would be cool to see some of that stuff come back. Oh no, I lost okay, well, there's only one log. I've been renaming all the time. I was gonna say, oh no, I lost my log, but I can see which one it is based on the date stamp. Okay, so now we're going to exit the game. And we're going to generate another file here. So I'm going to grab my new logs here and we'll drag them in. L3, L2, L1, and L0. And we're just going to go ahead and generate another ESP here. And I'm just going to overwrite the other one because the other one was a mess anyway, with all that old stuff, and we're gonna have to break up the precombines, so you can do that later. All right, let's go in here and get the file name. Well, actually, this one I'm gonna rename slightly. Okay, let's grab my downloads folder. Where is this at? All right, so we generated a new ESP. I'm gonna drop this into my data folder. Not that one. This one, and then we're going to update our plugins.txt to load this instead of the other one. Okay, let's pop back into the game. Still soundless. There we go. Okay, let's load in here. Okay, so now we're going to go back to our one before we started building this stuff to ready to build. So this is a save that has never seen that previous city plan we just built. I did just name this one the same though, so it's going to look the same in game, but this is the new one we've just recreated. So now we're going to see and make sure that the tweaks we just made, like the different scrapping and the rewiring we did between levels, that carries over. So let's get into God mode so I can build a city planner's desk. Now in this particular save, I had already set it up so that like leaders were optional and costs were turned off, etc. All right, Mechanist Lair tests, use this, tear it all down. Get out of the way here. Because we're inside of a giant dungeon that has all sorts of stuff that's not tied to the settlement, and we still need to scrap some stuff that isn't part of the settlement design. So the way that all the items that are in a settlement that you build or that are meant to be scrapped are connected together. It's called keyword linked, and you can generally just query the workbench, the red workbench in code and say like, hey, tell me all the items that are connected to you. And then you can mess with them. And there are so many items that are not connected in Mech Lair that we just have to query like the whole cell for items. So that's why it takes a while. Even though the city plan's not that huge, it takes a while for it to get going at the beginning. Okay, so now we've got our level 0 here that we have built up, and we can see that grabbed all our power connections, which is not shocking, right? It's just like you would do anything else. But then we were kind of sloppy with our rewiring. I didn't really worry about it. I was moving things around when we went to level 1, and so that stuff should all be carried over now. So let's upgrade here. And let this do its upgrade thing. Oh yeah, and you can see like a whole bunch of stuff appeared at once, which is a good sign that this, even level 1, has some pre-combined stuff that we need to dismantle. But again, fortunately, Prod to the rescue, made us a script that loops through all the items of the static collection and replaces them with new entries that are just the individual elements so that we can get rid of all that. Okay, I'm going to give it a minute here and see if the wiring all runs, and if not, I might run it through. I might go to the desk and actually force run it. And if the if the wires don't run like I expect, then we'll be back to the code. Now that I'm like dialed in on it, I can make tweaks to it to make it run a little better. Yeah, and this is something we fixed at level 2, but I didn't fix it at level 1. Actually, you know what? Hold on a second. I want to check something. Did I accidentally drag these to the wrong spot? No. Okay, good. I've done that before where I did them in the wrong order, and then you end up with a real messed up city plan. All right, let's see. Okay, yeah, there they go. They got wired. It's just a little bit of a delay because this place is massive. Okay, cool. So it did do what I wanted it to. All right, so basically, repairing city plans now, super easy. You just basically you don't have to worry about it, about trying to keep congruency between levels. You don't have to worry about bricking saves. You can just go in and tinker with it however you want. And the power code handles weird transitions between levels. the new the updates to the online tool and some of the Xedit scripts are going to just make it easier to copy paste data over. So I will be getting all these tools out to everybody in the next, well, very soon. Some of the tools I've already got out, so the updates to the web tool are already up there. The update to Xedit I will do after we push out the next patch, because we do have some changes in Workshop Framework to handle some of these. Workshop Framework is the code for Workshop Framework's layout system is what the settlement system is, or the city plan system is built on top of. So a lot of times to fix city plans, I actually have to update Workshop Framework, not SS2. And that is definitely the case for this. And actually, I think for some of the fixes I made, it will be for both, actually, because city plans are kind of like just layouts, but with layers that reference each other, so that it can handle the upgrading without having to recreate everything from scratch, so that it can remember which items that are continue from level 1 to level 2, level 2 to level 3, etc. And that's it. So we were able to get this so back to where it was. The wiring looks like it matches what I had. I do need to go back through. Because I didn't catch this stuff over here in level 1. So I'm going to load back all these saves off stream and take care of some more. Look for stuff like this crate I didn't notice before that's kind of floaty, and clean all this up. And then I'll be able to run the Xedit script, which I can show you guys again. So now that once I'm like happy with this and I have the city plan, I basically load up my plugin the new plugin I made, and I don't have to worry about any of this filling in the designer or the description or the scrap profile, like none of that. Well, the scrap profile you might want, depends on your city plan design. If you're really into city plan designs and you mess with the scrap stuff, you'd probably still want to do it. I don't bother generally. I find that the scrap profiles we have are usually good enough. All right, and then we want the Mech Lair. So we're going to do the RotC update. Now I'm not going to actually save this again because I am not happy with this one yet. But once you were happy with it, you'll be able to just run this script and copy all the data over. So now, once again, I will put out this this plea. If any of you has availability over the next week or so, get in touch with me on Discord or SimSettlements.com forums or Nexus, and could use a few more hands here so that I am not tackling all these myself. I've already got 4 people now that are helping me. So 37 divided by 4 means we each have to handle, well, 5 of us, because I'm one of them, handle considerably less, and each new person who jumps on reduces the workload for each of us individually. So very helpful. All right, so we're going to go into we're going to grab our source plan. So that's going to be this one. Transfer city plan properties, and then we're going to point it at our target, which is going to be the Mech Lair, which that must be. Why am I not seeing here? Oh, here it is, the Mechanist Lair. Okay, target at the Mechanist Lair, and that's it. And now this script takes a while to run because there's a lot of data to copy. But just set it and forget it. When it's done, it'll update your target. So in this case, my target was RotC, and it will transfer all the data, and I will be able to release that. And anybody who's using RotC in an existing save, as soon as their city plan will remain how it is. If it's a lower level, they can just refresh it and let it upgrade. But even if they don't, if they just leave it how it was, it'll be fine. Like at worst, you'll have some weird overlapping items, but it will not break the save, which was the biggest concern for me with updating city plans. It was that if you were to just regen from the tool and just rename it. So for example, like let's say you have a city plan out there that you generated from our web tool, and you go and generate another one. For the most part, it should have the same records and they should have the same form IDs and everything. But depending on what you did to it, if you added additional stuff, additional levels, it could end up with, or if you changed names or descriptions, or you used more plugins, it could change the form IDs. And then in theory, you could crash players who were using your previous version, which is not great. Not great. All right, guys. Well, I think that is all I wanted to show you guys tonight, and that took a lot longer than I expected. So, oh, hey, Starhammer. So I am fixing Rise of the Commonwealth and developing some new tools with help from others to make it easier to update city plans, because city plan updating was a nightmare, and so we're making it better, because the pre-build system from Conqueror is coming to SS2 very, very soon. No 42-hour stream. No, thank you. That will be a long while. So, but yeah, I think I'm logging off for the night. So thank you guys for joining me. I will hopefully be back Sunday with some more Skyrim. But yeah, that was what we're gonna work on tonight. So now I'm gonna get back to it. We're gonna grind out some more fixes off camera, and I can hopefully get these things in tip-top shape over the next couple of weeks. So thank you guys for joining me, and I'll catch you later.